Here we go. My name is Missy, and I'm a mixed media artist. I think the world is and our country here in the US is in a really, I'm having a hot flash. I love it. I'm happy with it. Do I like this, or is it looking more like a 90s ski jacket? And I'm really excited. Thank you for being here. Okay, well, here we go. My first YouTube video, official, I guess. My name is Missy, and I'm a mixed media artist. I do painting and drawing, fiber arts. I have a book project coming up that I'm working on over the next year. I had created a book for my grandson for Christmas with collage and mixed media, and I really enjoyed that type of illustration. And so I'm going to kind of take the next year and just explore that a little bit and see where we go with it. I have been wanting to do this for years, and I partially because of health issues and also because I guess confidence in getting on here and feeling like I have something interesting enough to share that people will want to watch, and just finding excuses, I guess, to not just go for it. I probably won't be super consistent with videos, or as far as like having a schedule, just because my health kind of predicts how often I will be doing this. And today I had enough energy to do something with my hair and put a little bit of blush and lipstick on. But some days I may be showing up in my pajamas and crazy hair and looking like I haven't slept. But I think that on a whim today, I decided to just go ahead and just do this and just show up as I am. I think the world is and our country here in the US is in a really terrible state. And partially for my own mental health, I felt like I just needed to do something outside of myself, my life, current life, and kind of to get out of my head. I haven't been able to really draw and paint much lately because of fatigue, so I've been doing a lot more crochet and just more gentle things on the couch. And so I do have some works in progress, or whips, I guess, to share with all of you. I will be sharing about my chronic illness as well. If I'm sharing a video that's more focused on that, then I'll put that in the video description in case that doesn't speak to someone, then they can just skip that one. I had started a Substack called Diary of a Chronically Ill Artist, and so I'll probably label those videos with that description as like a diary entry of that. In my experience, just sharing on my own personal Facebook page, there have been many occasions where people will private message me about something that they're going through and how what I shared spoke to them, and I'm able to offer them, I guess, advice or encouragement, and maybe some suggestions of things that I do that work for me. I'm having a hot flash. I guess I will explain a little bit about my illnesses. I've had fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue for years, and then after having COVID 3 years ago, it pretty much just hijacked my nervous system. And I have now been diagnosed with POTS, and since also hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, which is obviously a genetic disorder. And I think that the virus itself just sort of exacerbated that. I do have cognitive issues and memory issues. Today I'm doing pretty good, but some days it can be hard for me to find words or to just get my words out to like articulate what I'm trying to say. So I'm grateful that the first video I'm able to speak properly and express for the most part what I'm trying to say. I have a lot of GI issues going on. Possible MCAS histamine issues to the point of I can eat like 5 foods that I don't react to. I'm reacting to all supplements, medications, any interventions that we try to do to help heal the gut issues or help with any of the other issues that I have, my body's reacting to. So I'm currently waiting to see the allergy and immunologist to hopefully get some help with getting my crazy mast cells under control. Anyway, I'm just going to share some works in progress that I've been working on, some crochet. I've been trying to dabble a little bit back into knitting. I've had issues with rotator cuff issues in my shoulder. Oh gosh, I'm touching my microphone. Rotator cuff issues in my shoulder. And I find that the style of knitting I was doing, where I'll just grab my knitting needles here. The more traditional knitting where you're bringing the yarn up and around, kind of that motion tends to like really aggravate my shoulder. And I don't know why I never thought to explore this before, but I recently discovered continental knitting, where you're actually, it's holding the yarn in your left hand, kind of securing it this way, and then you're going in this way, grabbing the yarn. Whoopsies. The first stitch is always a hard one. Grabbing the yarn and pulling it through like that. So everything's staying here in the hand. There's no like bigger movements. And I did end up getting a set of circular needles. So they're shorter and I can keep, can't really see, but I can keep my work closer to my body, because with pots, having your arms out or up, any position change where your body is having to work harder to get the blood flow going will trigger heart rate, elevated heart rate, and often I'll start sweating and having shortness of breath. So being able to work with my arms closer into my body is helpful. So if any of you struggle with that, it's just a little tip. That's why I found crochet to be something that I could do, because it's just the one crochet hook and you can kind of keep it in close to your body. I am limited on time on how long I can do it, 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll start having neck pain and some things going on. But it gets a little frustrating because my mind wants to create for hours and my body doesn't always allow me to do that. But, you know, I've just learned to try to listen to my body, and if I'm hurting, put it down, and then maybe I can come back to it later that day. But sometimes if I get on a new project and I get excited, that hyper focus kicks in, and an hour later and I'm like, oh gosh, wow. And then I do feel it later. So I've got the classic knitted dishcloth. This has been a weeks long project, but I did start the continental knitting on this one. This was a Christmas present for my mom. So I ended up just crocheting one for her, so that she had something for Christmas, and then I will get that to her later. I had been seeing these pixie baby bonnets on Pinterest, and I don't have any little ones that I can give a bonnet to, but I figured I'm sure I'll find somebody. So this was the first one. It was a learning process, but I feel like I have it down now. Probably making it very hard for you guys to hear me because I keep bumping that. I talk with my hands a lot. So this is the bonnet that I made. I accidentally used a crochet hook that was half a millimeter too big. And I realized I'm really bad about, this is the ADHD kicking in, but I'm really bad about doing the swatch stitch, figuring out the stitching gauge. I kind of am impatient to do that. And then with the bigger hook, it was bigger, longer than it should have been. So I kind of left out the last row of crochet here so that it wasn't too big this way, because I figure once I put the ribbing on, it would make it about right. It is a bit long this way, but I think with the way the neck comes in and the face kind of comes in, it's not going to be tight fitting like it's supposed to, but it will be just more like a hood. It did call for doing a chain stitch, crochet chain stitch, but I just felt like it's so pretty and it just needed something more. So actually, that's how I found out about the continental knitting. I wanted to knit an I-cord, so I did my first knitted I-cord. The first one's not looking as good as the second one that I did, but I love it. I'm happy with it, and I'll know what I'm doing for the next one. Also, I have just some stash yarn. I've had these same skeins of yarn and colors around for the last year and a half that I've been doing things on, and I was ready just to move on to something different. So I started my first crochet shawl, just a V shaped shawl. Once you get going on it, it's just very repetitive back and forth on the V, so it's actually really easy. I'm doing it in double crochet. I decided to add in the navy just for a little bit of contrast. I can't decide if it's looking, yeah, it's okay. I keep wavering on like, do I like this or is it looking more like a 90s ski jacket? Like the colors, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. I enjoy just having something to throw around my shoulders if I have to run outside or run my daughter to school, unless it's super cold. But on days when it's kind of in between, like in the 50s, I like to just have some kind of a wrap to throw around, and also in the mornings when it's cold, just kind of, I don't know, something to cozy up in. Most of the yarn I'm using right now is the Woolies worsted weight yarn. And then if you can see in the background, I've got quite a few skeins of the Thick and Quick. I've done baskets and some other decor projects with those. Anyway, I'm happy to finally be doing this. There will be knitting and crocheting and drawing and painting and book projects and things to share, and also be sharing the days that are harder, for those of you that may help in some way. Just being really honest about that part of my life. I think when you're going through this, that just kind of helps to give what you're going through some kind of, I guess, purpose. Anyway, thank you for being here. If you made it to the end, this was a little bit all over the place, and for a first video, I just wanted to just do it, just get it out there. Anyway, I'm really excited. Thank you for being here.